There's a crisis in the White House.
What's the crisis?
And the president's top advisors have been called together.
Oh, jeez.
The sexual misconduct occurred inside the Oval Office. With the election only days away, how much will this scandal affect the outcome?
The president spent the weekend pressing the flash. He wasn't campaigning, he was dating, actually.
Now, Washington's top spin doctor
We can distract the press for 11 days till the election. I think we got a chance.
has an idea,
We can't afford a war.
We're gonna have the appearance of a war.
but he can't pull it off without Hollywood's top producer.
Do I know you?
We have some mutual friends in Washington.
Why come to me?
We want you to produce.
You want me to produce your war?
Not a war, it's a pageant. We need a theme, a song, some visuals. We need, it's a pageant.
New Line Cinema presents
How close are you to this?
What do you want the kid to say?
all the spectacle,
I know we're all concerned for the president.
I know we're all concerned for the president.
I know that we are all concerned for the president.
He didn't sell the line.
all the drama,
The president's gonna go to war with Albania in about 30 minutes.
Albania's hard to ride.
These are chips.
We need it for the arm position on the screen. It'll be a kitten. We'll punch it in later, right?
and all the effects of real war.
Okay, put the village behind her.
Give me some sound of screaming.
Without the casualties.
America has seldom witnessed a more poignant picture.
They used the same process with the last Schwarzenegger movie.
You're the man.
Albania, Albania.
That rhymes.
I can't believe it. We forgot a hero. It was like we sent him the Christmas card and we left out the, what do you call it? Fruitcake. There you go.
Sergeant Schumann, if I may, welcome to history.
How are you?
Anybody want a beer? Because I could party.
When it's cooking, it's cooking.
From Academy Award-winning director Barry Levinson
When this goes national, I get to put it on my resume.
Actually, no.
What could they do to me?
Take him home to your house and kill
Website, Crisis Cast, in a crisis revert to training, selling the service of crisis actors. Let's go through this website a little bit and take a look. Crisis Cast, award-winning role play actors and filmmakers specially trained in disaster and crisis management. So this is very real. We dramatize events for emerging security needs in the UK, Middle East, and worldwide. Our specialist role-play actors, many with security clearance, are trained by behavioral psychologists and rigorously rehearse in criminal and victim behavior to help police, the Army and the emergency services, hospitals, schools, local authorities, government, private security firms, shopping centers, airports, big business, criminal justice departments, media, and the military to simulate incident environments for life-saving procedures. See, it's all for life-saving. They would never use these crisis actors to manipulate public opinion. Continuing, we use state-of-the-art British film industry techniques, props, and special effects to help trainers deliver essential, hands-on, high-octane crisis response and disaster management training. We also work with trainee doctors, psychologists, and care professionals. Solutions. Our role-play actors are psychologically trained in criminal and victim behavior. Planning. Our producers work with your trainers to create a script that enables the role-play actors to know when to trigger key developments in an evolving crisis management scenario. We brief and rehearse the team, where possible, on location, but at least with video surveillance footage. Heads of department management, each discipline, and report to the lead producer, who is your direct contact at all times. Strategy. Our crisis management exercises can test monitoring and communication systems. Safety plans include lockdown and evacuation procedures, the ability of emergency services to cooperate and respond effectively, and, of increasing importance, their joint ability to respond to the press, media, and information posted on social platforms and the internet. All strategy is developed in partnership with our clients. Results. Nothing works as effectively in dealing with real-world disasters as rehearsal. We bring all of our experience creating highly credible, dramatic scenarios to bear, preparing your people for the worst, and equipping them with the psychological and practical tools that will help them save lives and survive disaster. We regularly execute NDAs that include our role-playing actors and crew. And then here's some of their clients and associates. We act for a wide range of clients, from private individuals to multinational organizations and everything in between. BritKit Professional, Flashpoint reality-based training. And then here's the one that stuck out to me, G4S, and of course the supposed Orlando lone wolf shooter worked for G4S, Mateen. So that's very sketchy that one of the clients of this crisis actor firm worked for G4S, and the patsy that's been framed for the Orlando mass murders at the gay nightclub, again, just happened to work for G4S. Here's some of their other partners: Kent Police, the Open University. You can read them, Hanover Associates. And you can go ahead and contact them and set up a false flag with crisis event with crisis actors. Let's go through some more of their website. Developing the capacity in people to keep skills immediately accessible when under pressure is not always straightforward. We have created a unique approach that works. We combine training and exercising to give your people the best possible preparation, all supported by theater-based logistics that enable truly immersive experiences. Our experiences are designed and staged to work in your school with your emergency plan. We provide highly interactive live scenarios with role play, interjects, film clips, and TV breaking news stories, social and print media posts, drilling, and exercising a wide variety of potential risks, and all facilitated by an experienced Gold Command trainer. Some of the leading independent schools in the world have used CrisisCast to reassure themselves that the critical incident plan they have in place is adequate to exercise their management teams in key responses. The added value of a learning experience that builds confidence and strengthens ties within the incident response team or any school team is proving to be a major added value to clients. All our school scenarios build towards an exciting press conference with lights, cameras, and hostile reporters in a crisis revert to training. Amazing. They're admitting it all right here, laying out how they plan staged events all the way down to false press conferences. There's some more of their clients: the London City Airport, and again, Kent Police. And again, this is the one that really sticks out right now, G4S, Good Governance Institute. Go to this site, check it out. Scrolling through it some more. About us, our specially trained role-play actors and internationally credited film crews bring realistic, informed crisis management and disaster incidents to life. As a company, we use state-of-the-art UK and Australian film crafts, tricks, and skills for live training that requires hyper-real battlefield effects, role players, stunts, medical simulations, and combat flashpoints. We are able to use specialist film techniques and disciplines to bring the best theater and film to our live immersive simulations. Crisis events. We rehearse and deliver highly credible, immersive crisis events, which we can film and supply as interactive training tools. Large-scale incidents. We can provide up to 400 actors fully trained and rehearse along with professional teams that look after makeup, prosthetics, pyrotechnics, wardrobe, special effects, covert and aerial footage. Classroom. We provide intimate classroom role play with teams of 2 or more professional actors to help trainee doctors, therapists, caregivers, and professional examining bodies. It just goes on and on.
He was hit, but they knew that the president was shot in the head. This is what I've been told now, Jay. President was shot in the head. Connally was shot in the chest. Both of them are still alive when I left the hospital.
Do you have some film?
And yeah, I have film at the hospital.
Will you get the film and see if you can get it developed real quick, and we'll put it on the air and run through?
One quote we got out there was Yarborough said the scene was too gruesome to describe.
I know.
And I've spent most of my time, so I'm going to get the film ready now.
Good. Ladies and gentlemen, let me bring you up to date. Jerry Haynes and I were within about 100 yards of where the president was shot. They're queuing up the film now that Bert took at Parkland Hospital, as I understand it.
Jay, it's going to start out of some brief scenes at the Market Hall, or at Trade Mart, where the president was due to arrive. It's about probably a mile from the scene of the downtown shooting. And, of course, we had no word at Market Hall as to what went on downtown.
Roll the film.
And it was a complete mystery. The police didn't even know. But we knew, as you'll see about halfway through the film, the police went on past.
1962. I went to the hospital to check on the condition of the two girls who had been shot and was arrested shortly after my arrival there by the mayor of the town of Ruleville. I spent the night in jail talking to the mosquitoes with no charges preferred against me.
Usually, you can believe what you see, but sometimes your eyes can be deceived.
Yes. Well, when I was a little girl in slave days, I always had something to do every day. Every day. Didn't have time to play very much at all. I myself was in the house for most of the time. In days like this, while we were outdoors, pulling up weeds, or picking up feathers where the chickens would all make them through the yard, or every day.
Someone came into the room, started shaking the chair. Said, Chairman, wake up, pigs was there. And I saw bullets coming from, it looked like the front of the apartment, from kitchen area. We were pigs to shoot, and about this time, jumped on top of the chairman. He looked up. Looked like all the pigs, birds, the entranceway to the bedroom area, back bedroom area. The mattress is just going, you could feel the bullets going into it. Looked up, he didn't say a word, he didn't move, except for moving his head up. He laid his head back down to the side like that. He told us to face the wall. Heard a pig say, he's barely alive, he'll barely make it. I assume they were talking about Chairman Fred. Then they started shooting the pigs, they started shooting again. I heard the sister scream. They stopped shooting. Pig said, he's good and dead now.
The funny thing is, once you start, sometimes it's hard to stop.
Some of the people are definitely against integration. It has scared them, and they have come home just crying, Mommy, do I have to marry Negroes? And my answer in handling all the fears that children come in is that you can marry whomever you wish. I come from Kentucky.
Had you known any Negroes before you came to Levittown?
And I can honestly say one of my best friends was a colored girl, and it's such a disadvantage to see her children try to grow up healthy in the atmosphere that they have to live in.
I'm Mrs. Fannie Lou Hamer, and I farmed on the Marlowe plantation for 18 years. I had charge of keeping up with the times and paying off, and I went down the 31st of August to try to register. And after I had gotten back home, Mr. Marlowe told me that I would have to go down and withdraw my registration or leave.
Is fake. They're all designed to fool you. Let's take this, for example.
Sent me to the hospital. They put my lane in the soy bank. They got $1,095. They rented the other lane for $375. They put my children on welfare. When I came out of the hospital, they had taken my fence down and widened the road down through my place. They had went around and got all of my creditors, different people that I owed to trust me, and they hadn't paid anybody. I got a lawyer to straighten my business out, and he told me that he would. Well, he didn't do anything about it. He worried me about selling some of the land. I told him that I didn't want to sell the land. I had to go back to the hospital. So when I came back home.
Well, what do you think is the solution to this problem?
Well, we believe in preventing the evils which must result from coloured immigration by removing the problem completely. The coloured immigrants are already here. That, of course, is a big...
Well then, what do you think is the solution to this problem?
We believe in preventing the evils which must result from mass coloured immigration by removing the problem completely.
In 1861, I enlisted in the War of the Rebellion. We went to Cold Camp, fought the Dutch, and cleaned them out completely. Lost only 7 of our men with more than 250 of the Dutch killed. He picked up rocks and fought with thousands of men around him. He struck Will Morgan in the face with a rock, and John Morgan shot him with an old-fashioned horse pistol, killing him.
Now, let's take a look at this.
Up to press, we've buried about 17,000 people. And we expect to bury about half as much again. When we came here, conditions were indescribable. The people had had no food for 6 days and were eating turnips. The cookhouses have now been organized, and although they have to be guarded so that everybody gets a fair share of the food, things are now going fairly well.
Fly in the sky, I can go twice as high.
This is the 24th of April, 1945. And I qualified at University College Dublin in 1934. At present, I'm engaged in trying to put to rights the hygiene and sanitation of this camp.
Take a look, it's in a book.
There were witnesses.
It was a horrible thing, and I thought they were actually killing him. Blood was streaming down his face, and even it just looked that blood was running out of his eyes. I asked someone in the group, just anyone, to help him, and when there was no response, I went to him and tried to assist him by pulling some of the men's arms from around his face. And all the time the men in this group who were standing around were screaming, "Kill him." And that's exactly what I thought they were going to do.
Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow.
So remember, you can't always believe what you see. And there's another way that your eyes can be fooled.
There are professional agitators who can inflame tempers and turn peaceful assemblies into bloody riots with resulting anarchy.
There are professional agitators who can inflame tempers and turn peaceful assemblies into bloody riots with resulting anarchy.
Did you see any of the world famous figures at these conferences?
Yes, it was my good fortune to see Marshal Stalin, the rulers of Turkey, Persia, and several other notables.
How do you feel about your husband making these famous trips?
I envy my husband very much, but he remembers me every place that he's been. This large bell brought from Cairo. Paige Huff. P-A-I-G-E. Huff. H-U-F-F. From Los Angeles, California.
And what did you see?
Actually, we were kind of pretty far down the street when it happened. We didn't know if we heard gunshots, or we didn't really know exactly what we heard. We heard a lot of screaming, a lot of cars screeching. We were just hanging out, taking photos at the time. We ran up the street as cops were running past us, and by the time we got here, they were already taking, which now I found out was Tupac, into the helicopter away. He had been shot. He had been shot.
She didn't... Wait. If things don't work out the way you expect them, why would you call rape? You done it. Just go ahead about your business and leave it like that, right? Okay. Manhattan or Brooklyn or what? Queens. That was my next guess. And let me get your name and the spelling of your last name.
Lady.
Lady? L-A-D-Y?
Yes, Campbell. C-A-M-P-B-E-L-L.
Okay. Lady Campbell.
Notice how she's looking up as she speaks. This is a sign that she's not being honest. I think she's giving a fake name. Lady Campbell.
We're gonna play. Steve Harvey. Right here, baby, right here.
Of all of the questions for this side to have.
That's right, Steve. Yeah. Come on, Steve.
And what you said earlier, what do you think? I mean, women like that are going for that.
They're going for sex. Same thing with Tyson, You're going there for something, People don't hang around you 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. They constantly call you. You're going for something, okay? And...
that was my next guess. And let me get your name and the spelling of your last name.
Lady.
Lady? L-A-D-Y?
Yes, Campbell. C-A-M-P-B-E-L-L.
Okay. Lady Campbell.
Over here, all the way to my right. Hi, I'm Angie.
Lady.
Lady? L-A-D-Y?
Yes, Campbell.
Over here, all the way to my right. Hi, I'm Angie.
Lady? L-A-D-Y?
Yes, Campbell. C-A-M-P-B-E-L-L.
Okay. Lady Campbell.
Those lipsticks.
I know this is a PG show.
Give it to him, give it to him.
But I'm gonna say you probably laid that thing down.
Heard more gunshots, and that was when we realized this was not a drill.
That's student David Hogg ducking for cover as the St. Valentine's Day massacre was taking place. David has become an icon of the Children's Crusade, appearing on many TV shows. But today, he is the target of a nasty conspiracy theory. Social media is erupting with tens of thousands of claims that David and other outspoken students are so-called crisis actors, hired to pose as victims. One tweet attacking David was liked by none other than the president's son, Don Jr. Today, David is turning to Inside Edition to make things clear.
Guys, I'm not an actor. I'm trying to be an activist.
We spoke to Brian Stelter, host of CNN's Reliable Sources.
This is an attempt to discredit and dismiss the student survivors. There are some people, these trolls that are making up these stories, that do not want to hear what these students have to say.
A far-right website, Gateway Pundit, published a story with this headline, Exposed. David Hogg's father in FBI appears to have been coached on anti-Trump lines. An aide to a Florida state legislature actually told the Tampa Bay Times that David and other student leaders are not students but actors that travel to various crises. The aide was fired.
I was in my environmental science class when the first gunshot echoed through the hallways. We never had an active shooter drill at my school, and though we did talk about what to do in this type of situation, nothing could have prepared us for this. Politicians, and more importantly, the American public, must take action if we're going to prevent the next shooting. To elected officials, I say this: don't lie to us. Don't make any more false promises, because when you do, children die. For the unfortunate individuals that were at my school, I ask that this be a time of togetherness and something that is going to be always remembered, not only as a terrible incident, but as a turning point in American history, where students speak up and speak out when the politicians won't. I understand the importance of interest groups and how oftentimes they're necessary to continue a political agenda. However, when that agenda involves putting the lives of children at risk, how can you justify that? I support the Second Amendment, but for God's sake, how can we knowingly pass bills and laws that are in direct opposition to saving kids' lives? Sandy Hook, the Pulse nightclub shooting, and Vegas, just to name a few. What legislation was passed in response? The answer to that question is little, if any. This President's Day, I think it's important that we come together as a nation and see each other's viewpoints and respect each other as fellow Americans. But this tragic event must never be forgotten, because once it is, there will be another one, and another one. We need to stand up, go out and vote, talk to your legislators, and get educated. Be persistent, because these interest groups and these politicians will not listen if we don't speak up. So as American citizens, unite and stand up in the face of division, not for any political agenda, but for the lives of millions of school children.
The points of mass shooters in your manifesto. The shooter at my high school, anti-Semitic, anti-black, and racist. The shooter in El Paso described it as an invasion. Guess what? Those guns are coming from the United States of America. They aren't coming from Mexico. They are not coming from Mexico. You are reiterating the points of a mass shooter, sir. Sir, you are perpetuating this violence. You need to realize it's not about a Democrat or Republican. Stop these things now.
Go give it.
A local TV breakfast show in Virginia, a live report from a shopping centre.
We're seeing tourism. We want the people that come here to say that.
We're not going to show the horrific 6 seconds which followed. Reporter Alison Parker, on the left, was shot at and killed by gunmen. Cameraman Adam Ward also died. The interviewee on the right survived after reportedly being shot in the back.
Okay, not sure what happened there. We will.
TV station WDBJ7 quickly cut back to the studio. In the mayhem, viewers had seen the 24-year-old trying to run away as she screamed. Her 27-year-old colleague's camera had dropped to the ground. Not long after, their manager confirmed their deaths on air.
It is my very, very sad duty to report that we have determined through the help of the police and our own employees that Allison and Adam died this morning shortly after 6:45 when the shots rang out. This terrible crime against two fine journalists. I cannot tell you how much they were loved, Allison and Adam, by the WDBJ7 team.
For a split second during the live broadcast, viewers were able to see the gunman before he ran off. He was soon identified as Bryce Williams. As a disgruntled former reporter at the station, he was well known to his two victims.
Is this our guy?
This is believed to be the car he tried to escape in. When police captured him, he turned the gun on himself. He can be seen here being stretchered away in a critical condition. It's emerged the fiancée of cameraman Adam Ward also worked at the station. She was watching from the TV control room when the shooting happened.
The most thrilling thing I've ever done, I took a trip to the Grand Canyon with my family, and we went...
Alison Parker had graduated just 3 years ago and was in a relationship with a presenter on the station. His Tonight said she was the most radiant woman he had ever met. These were shocking deaths. 2 people simply doing their jobs in front of hundreds of thousands of breakfast TV viewers. Julian Drucker, 5 News.
Welcome back. It was a crime that shocked the nation. 3 years ago, a Virginia TV reporter and her cameraman were shot and killed during a live broadcast.
That tragedy, that tragic day, it changed Chris Hurst's life, and it set him on a new path. August 26, 2015, Allison Parker, a 24-year-old reporter for WDBJ-7 in Virginia, along with her cameraman, 27-year-old Adam Ward, were in the middle of an interview when suddenly gunfire erupted.
Allison and Adam died this morning shortly after 6:45 when the shots rang out.
A third person, Vicky Garner, who was being interviewed, was wounded but survived. The gunman turned out to be a disgruntled former employee of the news station. While on the run, the gunman appeared to have posted messages and video of the shooting. This image shows how close he got to his victims. Soon afterwards, while police were closing in, the gunman shot himself in the car he was driving. He died a short time later.
I cannot tell you how much they were loved, Allison and Adam, by the WDBJ-7 team.
Parker's boyfriend, Chris Hurst, was an anchor at WDBJ-7.
She loved me more than anyone else could, and I loved her right back. It was a love that was genuine, and a love that I hope everybody else gets to experience at least once in their life.
In 2017, 2 years after the shooting, Hurst decided to leave his job at the station. He entered politics, running for state delegate in Virginia's 12th House District.
Hi, I'm Chris Hurst. I'm running for delegate.
See your picture. Now, the new documentary called Virginia 12 follows Hurst's grassroots campaign.
I had it in the back of my head of trying to do something larger than myself in response to what happened to me and to Allison, but also as a way of publicly showing people that, you know, you don't have to let grief and tragedy and the random obscenity of life just tear you down.
The documentary gives viewers a front row seat on Election Day as the results came in. A win for Hurst.
Had that for 9 months. I had what all of us in this business, well, not maybe all of us, but...
I've also asked the school board to make a part of every day some kind of anti-violence, anti-gun message. Every day, every school, at every level. One thing that I think is clear with young people and with adults as well is that we just have to be repetitive about this. It's not enough to simply have a catchy ad on a Monday and then only do it every Monday. We need to do this every day of the week and just really brainwash people into thinking about guns in a vastly different way. Brainwash people into thinking about guns in a vastly different way.
But you mark my words, my mission in life, and I talked to the governor today, he called me, and he said, and I told him, I said, I'm going to do something, whatever it takes to get gun legislation, to shame people, to shame legislators into doing something about closing loopholes in background checks and making sure crazy people don't get guns.
If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have any of these pictures. I never would have taken these pictures with any other girl except her. And he did it to Adam, and I just... And she loved her family so much. I just want to be able to touch her soul now, and I can't do it.
Thank you for being here. It takes courage, and we appreciate it.
I wouldn't have had these pictures if it wasn't for her. She made us take these pictures, and that's why I'm just so thankful that there are so many pictures of her. I've never had anyone who has wanted to create pictures like this for me. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have any of these pictures. I never would have taken these pictures with any other girl except her. She was so loved by all, and I know, and my heart is broken, and I'm never going to hear that again. This book that she made for us for our 6-month anniversary. Didn't have enough time to have an anniversary, so all we could have were month anniversaries. We didn't have an anniversary, but we had month anniversaries, and said that we were the cutest, newsiest, prettiest couple ever, and we are. She said we were the cutest, newsiest, prettiest couple ever, and we are. And we are. But I can tell you guys, it was a white-hot relationship. And Adam and Melissa's love was just as white-hot as mine is for Allison. And she did the morning show, and I did 6 and 11, because I anchor the 6 and 11 o'clock news, and she does the morning show. Made her breakfast. The last thing that she said to me was, "Good night, sweet boy." Good night, sweet boy. Good night, sweet boy.
Thank you for being here. It takes courage, and we appreciate it.
I wouldn't have had these pictures if it wasn't for her. She made us take these pictures. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have any of these pictures. I never would have taken these pictures with any other girl except her. I've never had anyone who has wanted to create pictures like this for me. And that's why I'm just so thankful that there are so many pictures of her. You know, we did things together and documented it. She was a great daughter, a sister, and a boyfriend and a lover, and we were betrothed to each other. We had just moved in. She must be remembered for the wonderful journalist and amazing person that she was, a daughter, a sister, and a boyfriend, and a girlfriend.
Hey everybody, Dutch Sense here. 12:15 a.m. Central Time on Sunday, August 30th, 2015. And I've got you over here on a post that I made yesterday. And what we're looking at here is an actor who is, well, his name is Andy Parker, and he claims to be the father, and is the father, I suppose, of the supposed slain live TV reporter from Virginia. And he's pushing for gun control. So why do I have this picture up here? Well, he's apparently the main star of Les Miserables, or Les Miserables, however you want to say it, the famous play. And he plays the lead captain in Les Miserables. Miserables. I don't speak French, but I'm butchering that for sure. And we put this out to everybody yesterday, letting them know that he is an actor as of 2013-2014, starring in theater plays, Broadway theater plays, as the main actor, and pushing gun control while having the guns, just like all these other Hollywood actors. And he's also a former politician. Okay, and just to show you that this comes from the actual actor's Facebook page, here's Brian Dunn, one of the stars, and Brian Dunn pictured outside of NBC Studios in New York. So I find it very, very strange that the gun control guy is an actor, first of all, just like all the others. I mean, go back to Roger's Retribution. Definitely directly related to actors. Either actors have the best chance of being shot in the world or being part of one of these false flags, or we got something weird going on here. And look at this. Not only is the guy an actor, but he's also a politician. Here's his Wayback Machine. Here he is, running for office. Politician Andy Parker. So politician, an actor pushing for gun control, part of one of these false flags. What more can you say? I could take you down here through the comments. And we've got, you know, people that are posting all kind, you know, other pictures of him as an actor, okay? I mean, here's another one here. And this is part of a Picasa web where they've, of course, provided this public so we can show this stuff. Here's another one here.
Oh, man.
It's ooh-wee!
Ooh-wee!
Describe the crunchy new taste. Ooh-wee!
Joker's getting exposed.
I'm so sorry.
Oh.
There's nothing we could do. Our blood's...
Look who it is. Dr. Joker.
Because nowadays they're down to serving you the whole scenario right in front of you on the TV. You will have a reporter, which is very often involved in the false flag themselves, so that they will report, oh, this horrible thing has happened, the problem, description of the problem. They will interview somebody on the scene saying, oh my God, they were like animals, they were chopping him up in pieces or something like that, to get the emotions going from you. Oh my God, that's awful. And then very often the reporter within the next 20, 30 seconds will serve you the solution or part of it, saying, oh my God, we need more strict gun control. Or is this a new case of blah, 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 so that we need stricter airport security? Or, you know, is this a new thing that will against the Jewish population so that Palestine, these type of things.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that this group, it's a small, limited group. We're talking like maybe maximum 100 people being transported in army planes from between American army bases mostly or NATO bases. It's always the same big question mark. How can you control a group like that?
Right.
How come there are no whistleblowers? How come, and so on? It's very, very simple. You keep the group as small as possible. This is why also we see recurring the same people acting, you know, like a victim in one false flag and a witness in another one, a mother in a third one, and so on. You've seen Sandy Hook, Boston bombing, all of these things where people pop up, the same crisis actors and so on. So this is one of the negative things about keeping it to a small group, but they need to control all parameters. And this is why they do it like this. He also says that the reason for no whistleblowers so far is that you pay them very well. That's normally you know, people do things for money.
Right.
And they got loads of money behind these things. So what these guys have to do is they need anonymous faces that have not been used anywhere else. So they have to be happy with real amateurs, really bad actors, many of them. And this is also where you would see that these people, the witnesses and false flags, or the people being interviewed and so on, they're crap actors, many of them. And one of the things that gives them away is what is called duping delight. You know, they talk about this awful thing. Oh, my dad just got his head chopped off, you know, by ISIS or whatever. And you see the face of the daughter, which should be absolutely torn apart with grief, and the woman is sitting smiling.
Yeah.
This is the smiling thing is a very recurring thing, and it's almost like they're laughing, having a good time, you know, but then and sometimes you can even hear, you know, like mess up things like so what are we supposed to do next, or is this a real take, or isn't it, you know, these things in the background if you turn the volume up very much.
Smiling faces sometimes pretend to be your friend. Smiling faces show no traces of the evil that lurks within.
Can you dig it?
Smiling faces sometimes they don't tell the truth. Smiling faces tell